Hi guys, how's it going, eh? Todd, the cheap drums guy, the one and only. Same could be said for the people who watch my video, the one and only guy who watches my video. Down in my drum studio, of course, because all famous YouTube drummers have to have our drum studios. I was at work today, hence the high visibility crap. It's what I wear for work. And before you knock it, chicks in New York pay top dollar for this kind of crap, so always be a trendsetter, baby. But I was at work today. I drive truck for a living, and I had the pleasure to see a longtime contractor who we supply at one of those job sites, and he'd followed me from the get-go on this whole drum thing. Maybe not so much because he dug the drums and all that kind of crap too, but we've known each other for the better part of 20 years, so generally we like hearing about each other's lives. But he wanted to hear about my drum stuff, and he goes, "Did you get that big shiny kit that you wanted? All the bobbles and sparkles and I'm like, no. And he goes, "Did you get a set of drums?" I said, "Yeah." And I'm just happy as can be. "So what'd you get?" I said, "I got a $30 kit out of Goodwill." And his jaw dropped. He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe I was that happy with something so inexpensive, and it actually came out of Goodwill. And it took me a while to explain to him why I felt the way that I did and why I made the decisions that I did in my purchases. And he totally understood it. And at the end he thought I did good for you, Todd, good for you. But I thought it was such an interesting conversation. I wanted to say something about it on here. Now, when I first started all this, oh, my eyes were on the prize, that shiny, brand new drum set. I was looking forward to seeing a UPS truck pull up and a guy get out a hand cart and carry, 2 brand new boxes or 3 boxes that say blase, blase, blah drums, brand spanking new. And then you get that new drum smell when you open up the box. Of course, you take the Sweetwater candy out and eat your bit of honey and Tootsie Rolls out of there first. But then you get your drums out. And I wanted that experience. It's like all the times I bought brand new cars. You open that door, that smell, it was a new car. Everybody who saw you drive out of the lot knew it was a new car. But I'm so glad I didn't get that brand new set of drums. And let me tell you why. When I started all this, I had this budget, and that drum set was at the top was the top on the list, top line on the list. And that's all I thought about. And of course, that model of drums had a bigger brother, which was more money. And if you add this to it, it's even better for more money. And by the time I got down to it, I had a beautiful set of drums, but my hardware was going to be I was going to get it from Amazon. God knows how long it would have lasted. And the cymbals were not much more than brass paperweights. And had I gotten all this stuff, I'll be selling my dogs at the end of this video too. But had I got all that kind of stuff, I would not have been happy. But then, I think probably that first day, I would have realized this is as real as it gets, people. You don't see Drumeo, dogs barking, interrupting them on Drumeo. So let me just talk over them a little bit. I am not going to restart and start this video over again. But if I'd done it the original way I was going to, I would not have been happy that day. You can change. If your drums sound crappy, by all means, you can do things to change it, the sound of it. But if your cymbals are crap, there's nothing you can do. Crap is crap. Your hardware, if you're playing your kit and your hardware is all over the place, or it's going to fall apart in a couple of months after playing it, it's just going to bring constant disappointment to you. And luckily for me, my friend at his work found they had that drum set come in. And just prior to my purchase of everything, $30 drum set shows up. Okay, I've already got a set of drums. And I was so impressed, even by their inexpensive kit. It wasn't frilly, or it wasn't super shiny, didn't have covered in sparkles and little lights and stuff. But I was so impressed just by that kit and just the engineering of it and how it's put together, that I'm like, I really don't need that expensive kit. Which opened up a whole new ball game. I mean, it was crazy. This whole big sheet, I was writing everything down and where to get it and how much it was going to cost and the final tallies. I crossed that top line off, that drum set. And then I started looking at everything on the rest of the list. Okay, I was only going to spend this little bit of money on this set of hardware that probably would have fallen apart in a couple months. What if I upgrade the hardware? That still gives me all this extra money. And then I saw the cymbals that I was getting. And I've seen so many videos about brass cymbals. And as much as you talk about them and run them through processing and stuff, you may make them sound good on a video. But for the most part down here, what I'm doing, there's nothing you can do. They're going to be crap. And finally, enough of those videos I watched reinforced that in me. So, you know, I did get better on the hardware, but I also upgraded on the cymbals. Brass was not going to be, there was going to be no brass, except for that bell on the wall right there. That's the only thing brass in this room. And so I get a intermediate level set of cymbals. Inexpensive, I mean, but they are still fairly high quality intermediate level cymbals. And I still had money left over. And when I got the kit, I noticed the heads could be changed. So I brought new heads, and still at the end I had money left over on my budget. So I factored in another set of drums, $100 for another use set. Just in case, so I didn't have to order them later after I've already seen them. I just preemptive strike, and I ordered brand new heads for those as well. So when it came time, everything got here, and I set up. And luckily, I've been watching all these drum videos of all these wonderful artists for months and months and months. And it was so simple, and it had been like I've been doing it for years. But the finished product, when I actually, for the first time, sat down here and popped on some music on the TV loud as I could, and I played, I was so happy. I'm like, I knew I made the right decision. Because, I mean, to look at the drums, you couldn't tell that, well, other than with the tom holding brackets, you really can't tell it's an inexpensive kit unless you're, a seasoned professional drummer. But even then, if you frown on it, I mean, who gives a shit, really? But what I have and what I was able to get for not much, actually, I'm just so happy. Now, granted, is it a super shiny, free of scratches? No, it's not. But if it comes to the point where I don't want to be involved in this hobby, again, that's how I approach this as a hobby. I'm not a professional, never will be. If I do decide to get out of this, how much am I really going to be out? It's not going to be too much, really. And the majority of the stuff I'll be able to resell. And I won't lose too badly on it. But had I bought that big, shiny, brand new kit, and I decided, well, this isn't for me, I'll go to bird watching or something. When I try to sell that $1,000 kit, I am not going to get my money back. There's, people say, well, you hear stories, well, I sold it for $1,200 instead of $1,000, I got more than my money. These things don't happen. People are just talking to hear themselves talk. You're going to lose a lot of money on that. A $30 drum set, am I going to lose any money on that? Oh, hell no. I'm going to make money on that. Because I cleaned it up and did a little work on it, which was just my own labor. I did put brand new heads on it too. I mean, a little bit, $80 for the new heads. I'm still, if I sold it tomorrow, I would make money on it because it's a decent quality kit. That sounds great. It's got new heads. And I'd be happy, about that, but of course I'm going to keep that kit because it's my first one, and it's got a lot of sentimental value, even though it's been just a short time. But if you're just starting out in this, you want to start with the used kit. You stay away from the brand new stuff. They have the new beginners kits. Pearl has a Roadshow series, and that was a kit that I did consider, the Pearl Roadshow. Ludwig Element Evolution, the 7-piece, that was on the top of my list for a long time, for about 3 or 4 weeks. Get a black sparkle one, because that one also did come with better heads, 2-ply pinstripes on it, but it didn't come with cymbals. And then Tama Imperial Stars also. They came with brass cymbals. And all these drum sets are very, they sell wide, across the world. Thousands and thousands of sets. And they are a fine set, I'm sure. But I wouldn't be happy. And the Pearl kits come with brass colored paperweights that are supposed to be cymbals. And it's not a full set anyways. You have to have you don't want just a set of hi-hats and a crash ride that if you hit it once will probably turn into a china. The Imperial Stars did come with Meinl HCS, and arguably out of all the brass cymbals, the HCS are probably at the higher end of the brass market, but they're still their brass cymbals, and you're just not going to get a good sound out of them. And the hardware is their lightest grade possible. And why spend $650, $700, $800 on a Pearl Roadshow when you can go on to Guitar Center and find somebody who made the mistake of starting with drums and they had no business being there, and then sold them back? All right, you're only going to get a fraction of your money when you sell them back. You go to a pawn shop, you're not going to get anywhere near what you paid for them. But after that fool brings that set back, buys it back from him for a reduced cost, they're going to turn around, mark it up just a little bit, and then sell it back to you. Let's say you and your friend buys one. Let your friend buy it for $800. Him decide not to use it, sell it back to them, then you buy it from Guitar Center for $400. Much better deal, saves you $400. Put that towards better cymbals. I always am constantly looking at the ads on Craigslist, on Reverb, and Guitar Center. I do bring them up quite a bit. I prefer Sweetwater to buy all my stuff at, just because, I like the way they do business, and I love opening that little bag of candy. Even though it's just inexpensive candy, it's Sweetwater. And I got a cool sticker upstairs too, but that's for new stuff. But when it comes to buying used, Guitar Center has a massive, just absolutely massive inventory of used drums. You can get a full drum set, just the shell packs, not the cymbals and hardware. I've seen them as low as $79. I have a set over there I bought, $99, and it's absolutely great. There's not a thing wrong with it. It is missing, I think, the tom arm. It only comes with one tom. That's all it was designed to come with. But the tom arm was missing. But that's okay. I've got spares anyways. And you can find a $1,500 set of drums in there. They're maybe 10 years old, and you can get them for $600 or $700. There's the Star Classic is a perfect example. I've seen a lot of Star Classic sets in there for $600, $700, $800. And these are, a nice set of drums, a very nice set of drums. They don't stay on there very long because people scoop them up because people do pay attention. And you do have those drum flippers, the guys who will buy a good set inexpensively, turn around and try to flip it and sell it to someone else for more money. And if that's what they want to do, by all means, let them do it. But if you are in the market to start into this hobby or buy a new set of drums and you're in the same level as me, just kind of stuck in the basement and never really going to go that very far with it, you're not doing yourself any favors by setting your sights on that shiny brand new kit. Go look in Guitar Center, Reverb, Craigslist. There's a nice set up north, just a half hour north of me, that I also looked at too. It was it's a 9-piece Yamaha. It was actually kind of cobbled together from 3 different kind of kits, but they're all black, they all match. And that price wasn't bad, but if you focus on that big shiny thing, you're going to fail everywhere else. And the drums, everything comes together. The cymbal, sound, your hardware, and your drums. You can't just focus on one thing and then just neglect the rest and just blow off the rest and just get whatever. It doesn't work that way. So by starting off, I challenge you now, if you are in the same boat as I am, just starting off back, or starting back into it, or actually just starting off, go to a place like Guitar Center. Look up their used or vintage, and when you go onto the page, you're going to see there's going to be lots of pages. So like 1,500 or more sets. There's a little bracket that says filter source, start from low to high. Start from the base. So if there's a $79 drum set, that'll be the first one. 89, 99, 100, 100, 100. And you would not believe what you will find for 200 bucks or 250 bucks. Just outrageous. Right now, there's probably 5 kits that I just drool over, and they're all under 300. And you don't have to spend $1,000 to get a $1,000 drum kit. Find that used one. No one's going to really tell or going to know that you spent 300 on it instead of 1,000. But for that extra 700 you're going to save, buy your set, or even a used set of cymbals. They got the cymbals up there up the yin yang too. But if you were going to pay 300 bucks for your cymbals, well, now you got an extra 600 bucks to add to that. So you could order yourself a brand new set of Zildjian A's, or I'll get Meinl Classic Customs Dark or Brilliance. Do I have a set of Meinl Byzance? I want a set of Meinl Byzance really bad. Meinl, if you're watching that, if you want me to test the set out for you, by all means hit me up. I'll give you my direct address. Byzance would be, especially the duals. I love the look of those. They're just gorgeous. That would be my ideal set of cymbals. Common sense tells me don't get them, and I probably won't, just because I don't need a $1,500 set of cymbals. Even if I went and bought used, you might get it down to $1,000 bucks, maybe, but still, I don't need $1,000. These Pistes do me real well. They're made with the 2002 bronze alloy, same as their Paiste 2002 higher end cymbals. They work very well for me, and I'm happy. But if I bought everything from the get-go, and not have that 3 months, I'd have crap brass, and I would not be happy, and I'd probably be already trying to think of a way to get out of this hobby. But these are very pleasing to the ear. Nice smooth sound, nice shimmer to them, and nice and bright. Hi-hat was a little too bright for mine. Same with the ride, a little too bright now that I've been using them quite often. And on the ride, I usually put 2 moon gels to tame it down. But do not buy a brand new drum set. If you are on that professional level, or you think that you are going to go places with your drums, by all means buy that brand new set. I mean, if you can afford it, it's not going to hurt you. But just realize there's a lot more to buying drums than just a set of drums. And if you do buy that set, make sure you factor in new heads. The new sets do come with those single ply heads. They usually say made in China. They're Frisbees. They're useless, but don't get rid of them. If need be, you can always use them for resonant heads. But make sure you do buy new heads with it. I think that's where the biggest failing is, because people don't know how to tune drums, and they beat on their drums with the heads that came with the kit. They don't know anything about tuning, and then when those heads come out of tune, or they're just beaten beyond, they don't even look like drum heads anymore. They're going to think that drums are just shot, and they're going to want to get rid of them. But do your homework. I mean, set yourself a time. I want to buy my drums in August. So back in March, start doing your homework, watching the videos, and pricing things, getting things together. See when the deals, because Sweetwater has deal. All these companies have deals every so often. I can't remember. I think June or July is drum month for Sweetwater. But do your homework and start off right. And like I said, that $30 drum set was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because it kept me from making a big high money mistake. And I'm not wealthy by any means, but I'm not dirt poor either. But you know, we are married, and you don't want to. There's more things to worry about, like the house, the yard, the cars, the dogs, my wife. Those are the important things. That's what I have to look forward to. So I didn't want to throw, you know, a lot of our nest egg down on, you know, DW kits. I just don't see the logic behind it. I just don't. But that $30 drum set allowed me to get smart and get a set, or a number of sets, that are set up right, sound good, and it will keep me interested. And over time, this investment's going to pay off, because I have not had a bad day on the drums yet. And I think it's because I got smart, and with the new heads and stuff. And that, I don't know what more I could say, really. I'm kind of stumbling around my words now. But, I mean, that's just some things to think about. If you want that shiny prize up there, by all means, you know, God, man, the number of drum sets I was going to get. The first one I really had my eyes on was a PDP 7-piece. It was in a black carbon fiber, and they had marked it down, and man, I sat there. I had that picture of that kit on my phone for the longest time, and it is beautiful, but I am so glad I don't have it. I am so glad I have what I do, because I don't know, I got smart. For once in my life, I got smart, and it's paying off, and I'm going to stay in this hobby. Am I going to get more drums? Oh yes, sir. I'll probably get more drums. I probably should sell one of mine in order to replace it too. But anyways, that was just my thoughts. Kind of a meaningless video, but evidently you're just as bored as I am, so you're watching this. But I'm Todd, the cheap drums guy, and I gotta go put upstairs and put a boot in my dog's ass because they keep barking all the time. But have a good day, people. Ugh. Gotta find my remote control for this, so I ain't gotta keep doing this crap. Ooh, ambiance. Peace.